Guys, so much has been channeling through me, so I don't know who needs to hear this. You're gonna have to let me know in the comments wherever you're watching this, like if these messages have been resonating with you. So just expect to see a lot of videos of me looking pretty much exactly the same. But anyway, what was coming through, I don't know if you've seen the show Lucifer. I used to watch it a couple years ago. I thought it was a pretty good show. And you know, in that show, if you're not familiar with it, you can look up what the hell loops are. So basically, what Spirit's saying is that some of you are doing this in your mind, okay? Like, because heaven and hell are states of consciousness, right? Like, humans take it so literally. They're like, there's literally a burning pit. No, it's literally like you put yourself through hell, right? And we do this when we get really caught up in our mind and we ruminate and we keep going over things. And I'm going to kind of explain this to you because they were explaining to me how you do it, how it plays out in your life. And like, I want to explain how to break out of that. And, you know, I just want to preface this with saying the only reason I can speak on this is because I myself have been there, okay? I'm someone who experienced a lot of trauma growing up, and I was not taught emotional intelligence. I, for very, good reason, felt like a victim, but it clearly was not serving me at some point in my life. I was like, wow, am I just going to go through, like, my entire adult life, like, really taking other people's shit and, like, not getting what I want? So I had to take it upon myself to, like, go in and clear this, right? So just to preface this. There's like sirens in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but this whole, whatever's channeling through, it's like someone's in fucking mental chaos and you need to break yourself out. So basically you put yourself in a hell loop when you have uncleared trauma, right? Or when you have a negative thought pattern, or when you're like not taking responsibility, right? Like if you're going through life and you're complaining and you're bitching and moaning about everything and you're pointing fingers, blaming everyone, that keeps you stuck in it, okay? Because unbeknownst to you, you're creating your reality. And you know, all the sirens in the background, it's kind of like chaos. I don't even know if the camera picked them up, but like I can hear them. And it's kind of like sometimes all hell has to break loose before it shakes us out to be like, whoa, like this can't continue, right? So someone's message is, if you feel like you are living like Groundhog Day, like no matter what you do is just like same old shit, it's because of what's going on for you internally, mentally, and emotionally, okay? And so your message is to stop putting yourself in your own personal hell, okay? So if you feel like you're constantly triggered, like everything that annoys you, everything that you hate is like showing up in your reality, it's literally just mirroring to you what's going on internally, okay? And this will happen when we don't believe that we're worthy of good things, when we believe that someone's always going to get in the way of our happiness, when we believe in competition and scarcity and lack, and like we don't think we're worthy. And I'll just be honest with you, I knew for a long time about manifestation and that I was creating my reality. But I ended up in a situation that was like, it was almost comical, because it was like ended up in an environment where it was like my worst nightmare of everything, like all the little things, the people, just like everything. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then I was laughing because it actually pushed me to really evolve and understand and take deeper responsibility, like understanding really that I'm creating it and that I have the power to shift it internally. And it was amazing to watch things that have been seemingly like happening every single day all of a sudden started to dissolve before my very eyes once I started changing my energy. And for me, what really helped was when I intentionally went in and cleared trauma, and I really worked. And things didn't shift right away, but they shifted pretty quickly. And I was noticing like little changes and then like big changes. And I was like, holy shit, are you fucking kidding me? Like I had this within me to stop this all along. And I was just needlessly suffering, things getting worse and worse over the years, until I got in this like crazy ass situation where I was like, this has to be me. Like I can't be, I refuse to believe that I'm this big of a victim, that like my life's just going to keep going down the shitter essentially. And it got kind of funny because the more I kind of like removed myself from the situation and like stopped getting so emotionally involved and like in those downward negative spirals, and I just looked at it practically through the lens of like, okay, I understand that my thoughts and feelings create, and there's obviously some sort of subconscious thing going on, some pattern, and it was from my fucked up childhood, right? Like that's like getting worse and worse to get my attention so I can clear it. I mean, it gets worse and worse because whatever you focus on grows, right? But it's always an opportunity to clear it. So yeah, like my situation was just like really fucking bad, and like just I had already been through so much that it literally was like putting me over the edge. And I was like, this is either going to make me or break me. And I chose intentionally that I was like, okay, this ends now. Like, I'm not available for this to continue, these patterns to continue in my life. And when I took a step back and stopped getting so emotionally involved in it, and I just looked at it very matter of fact, like, you know, taking out that like triggering charge and really took responsibility. I had to work with my nervous system big time because it was things that was like literally like making my body feel like tense and like just, it was like a weird mix of like annoyance and being pissed off and actually like feeling like deep fear. And I didn't know where it was crazy. I'm not going to get too into it. But when I was able to step back away, I was able to see the humor in it. It was actually like really funny. And so when all of a sudden just came through, like channeling through hell loops, I'm like, what? But then it reminded me that was like one of the analogies that came to my mind when I was actually waking up and realizing what was going on in my situation. So maybe hopefully you can find the humor in whatever you're going through. But the message that's coming through is like the chaos isn't just coming out of nowhere. It's not because you're a victim. If you're feeling like a victim, it's because you're believing yourself to be on some level. And you may be someone who's like really like, you know, self-led in many areas, but whatever area of your life this is happening in is where you feel like a victim. And this is where you get to go in and clean up the stories and really take responsibility. And what I was hearing coming through, and I don't know who this is for, is probably specific, but it's stop blaming other people, because that's you handing your power away and you're feeding them more power. So your problem's going to keep seeming to get bigger and bigger. So it's time to detach, work on managing your emotions, emotional stability, work on your mindset, work on cleaning up what's going in inside so you can shift it. And you know, we're in eclipse season, and eclipse season is always really powerful energy to like once and for all be done with the stuff. So like ask yourself, like, what am I absolutely no longer available to experience anymore? Like, be honest, call yourself out on your bullshit, like take fucking responsibility. That's essentially this whole channeled message. So if this resonated with you, let me know. And if you are looking for support, I would love to be able to help you. You can find the link in my bio for all the ways.